And what I found out was that you had actually built an entire system, the CRM and everything around the mortgage marketing animals plan. And what you may or may not know is I had about 5 different people say, "Hey, call my guy, call this guy, call that person." So I had interviews with a bunch of people, and they were all nice people. But my heart was set on joining the Dubuque team. I wanted to be part of Click and Close. I loved what you had set up. I loved the systems.
Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
David Nguyen.
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in any market. Hey, today, guys, we've got a member of Click and Close in the Dubuque team, Craig Fossett, and Craig is coming to us from the Tampa Bay area down in Florida. So you've got a little remote here, but man, we're excited to hear from Craig and what he's been doing out there in Florida. Craig, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Devin. It's a pleasure to be here. Great to see you and David.
Absolutely, man. Hey, great to have you on here too. We've been meaning to do this for a long time. Sometimes we forget about our partners down there in the southern state, and man, it's super excited to get that ray of sunshine from you today, my brother.
Yeah, it's exciting to be here. Where I'm happy to be on with you guys. Love the idea of the podcast, and the podcasts I've seen have all been great, and love what you're doing out there in the marketplace, and glad to be a part of the team.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Craig. How did you, well, first off, where are you from originally? And then, how did you get into the industry and how'd you find us, right? Let's hear a little bit about it.
Well, my dad was military, so I was actually born in the place where Bugs Bunny could never make the correct turn. That's Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Army brat.
Yeah, we were Air Force. I heard a
Okay.
comedian say once, "Oh, Air Force, you were almost military." So I've told my dad that once or twice. Um, yeah, so I've been in the Tampa Bay area since 1979. So, I'm like a piece of furniture here that just won't go away. Um, I was I did commercial lending for a little bit back in '06, '07. Guess what happened at
Okay.
about that time? Market
Oh, I
changed
think we
and
remember. Yeah, the crash.
yeah. So after the market change, I ended up teaching school for a little while, about 14 years.
What'd you
And
teach?
I was a math teacher, always dealing with numbers.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that makes sense too. What grade?
Well, I taught kids from 6th grade all the way through seniors in high school. It just depended on different years and where I was at the time. I had the geometry students for the last 5 years, and they needed me to graduate. So I was kind of important for them, and more important for their parents because their parents were the ones who really wanted them to be in my class.
That's good. So they were taking it seriously.
Yeah, yeah. I spend a lot of time at charter schools, and the kids that are there just have a different kind of focus. They have different parental support, and our scores showed it. I scored pretty high.
Love that,
We were
man. That's
kind
fantastic. That's fantastic. So you're an educator. You're helping kids get prepared for college, teaching them math and geometry. You've got a background in math because you used to do some commercial lending stuff, and you also do something else, man. What do you do in your free time, brother? You've got something you really enjoy. You've got a passion, right?
yeah, for sure. I'm a big soccer fan. Real football, as some of us call it. Um,
Football.
yeah, I was fortunate enough to be around some great players and on some great teams, and have won a few awards in my day, and just really love it. My kids are playing now, two of the three, and just love being around. Do a little bit of coaching, a little bit of refereeing, and just generally involved and helping out in the community.
You had some collegiate experience with that as well, right?
Yeah, I did. I was fortunate enough to go to the University of South Florida. I was a walk-on and earned a spot my first year there and stuck around for 5 years and 60 or so games. Had a lot of fun with that. Still have a lot of great relationships with the guys that I got to know, and it was a great experience. Absolutely love it.
That's awesome, man. So you're a walk-on, but you made the team. So hard work and dedication, that's just in your blood, man. It was already there, right?
Yeah, in fact, one of the things that really made it so that I did make the team was that when we came in the beginning, I was the fittest of all the freshmen. When we had to do the preseason run, I came in first with all the new guys. I made sure that I made a difference. I trained well. I was prepared, and when I got there was no stopping me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And so you graduated.
I did, yeah,
What
yeah.
was your degree in?
My degree is in marketing, so
Yeah, crazy. So but you didn't jump right into marketing, or did you? You graduated. What'd you go into initially?
well, my first job out after college, I played a little bit of professional soccer, which was kind of cool,
There we
and
go. Who'd you play
did
for?
the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Very cool, man.
They
Very cool.
they're still here. They're in the second division now in the professional leagues here in America. Still go and catch several games a year with them, and yeah, it was a great time. I actually got to play with guys that I grew up watching and idolizing, and that was pretty cool getting to know those guys, and again, still have relationships with a lot of them.
Your mentors became your peers.
That's right.
That's cool, man. That's cool stuff. A lot of people don't get to live that dream. And man, it's awesome. And again, it's a true testament to your passion, and what drives you. Again, you get to college, you're not on the team, you walk on, you make the team, you end up taking that to an actual professional career. And so soccer ends, and where'd you go from there?
I started just working into the financial industries. I did a little bit of insurance, um, did a little bit of commercial banking, as you know, um, coached a little bit, kind of did a little bit of floundering around, I guess. And then,
Yeah.
you know, finally got to the point where I, spent 14 years as a teacher. And then I decided it was, just time for me to move into a different direction and get back into the financial world because I missed it. I missed being
Yeah.
out there every day. I missed the deals. I missed helping people. And, obviously in the mortgage industry, when you help somebody, you help them get into a house. Um, Nothing better.
Yeah, it's their biggest, it's typically their biggest purchase. And, I think a lot of people don't understand this, but most of us in this industry, at least the ones that are truly, successful and passionate, they're doing it because they care, right? We're helping people find their way into a home. And there's something magical about that, right? When you get them across the finish line and they grab those keys for the first time. Wouldn't you say so, David?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the big thing: how the heck did you get into the mortgage business? We all get mentored and stuff, and we all follow the marketing animals, and everybody the marketing animals. Carl White, the founder, always says, no one purposely gets into the mortgage industry. We all get into it by accident or a mistake or somehow, but we're here. So how did you get into the mortgage
Yeah,
industry?
you stumble out of the teaching career
Right.
and you go, I'm going to be a loan officer.
Yeah, you don't just wake up and go, I'm going to be a loan officer, is what everybody says.
So I had a friend who was in the mortgage industry. I'd wanted to work with him. He had been successful in other businesses before. And so he and I had a conversation in November of 2021, took my test and obviously passed it and started in the mortgage industry. I got onboarded in March of 22.
Right.
And in that first month or so, from the time I passed the test to the time I got onboarded, I spent a lot of time listening to podcasts. And
Yeah.
I listened to one podcast and it was good, but I knew there was something more. And then I found the mortgage marketing animals. And that's when I knew I had found a place that I wanted to be. And after I had listened to that for 3 or 4 episodes, I went, there's got to be some other podcasts out there. And then I went searching again, and that's when I found Carl White. And all of a sudden, mortgage marketing animals start showing up.
Yeah, so you went down the rabbit hole and you started uncovering things, and all of a sudden it leads you to the mortgage marketing animals and Carl White. And then how'd that get you to us, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we are marketing animals, but how'd you end up? How'd you find us? How did that happen?
Well, 3 months after I got started with that last company, my buddy, who was my manager, he ended up leaving the company.
Yeah.
So I was kind of sitting there on an island. I was there, far away from everybody. Christine Wagner was the one there that was helping me when I needed some help, and I just knew that it was going to be time for a change coming up. So I spent some time and started just listening and paying attention, and I kept hearing about you guys on the mortgage marketing animals. I heard David speak, I heard Clint speak, and finally I decided I needed to see if I can have an opportunity if there's an open door for me here. So
Yeah.
obviously I reached out to you, Devin, and next thing I know, I'm working in Texas out of Florida.
Well, we're national, so we do business a little bit of everywhere.
49 out of 50 states. Sorry,
Four-
Delaware.
48.
Yeah,
40.
sorry.
We lost one last year.
Oh.
Sorry, Nevada.
Oh.
But yeah, so we do business in a lot of states. Florida is one of those. And we always encourage, anybody that has interested in joining the team because we are national. We love our folks across the country. It's important for us, right? So you reached out to me. But what was it that you were looking for specifically when you came to us? So you were with the mortgage company. There had to be a reason why you left, and what really, I know you heard Clint, you heard David, but there had to be another reason that you felt like this was the right organization for you.
Well, the mortgage marketing animals follows a plan and a program. It's called the Daily Success Plan. And I wanted a company that was going to follow that. And what I found out was that you had actually built an entire system, the CRM and everything around the mortgage marketing animals plan. And what you may or may not know is I had about 5 different people say, "Hey, call my guy, call this guy, call that person." So I had interviews with a bunch of people, and they were all nice people. But my heart was set on joining the Dubuc team. I wanted to be part of Click and Close. I loved what you had set up. I loved the systems. And then when I got there, I found out the support and everything is even better than I expected. I love the team atmosphere. I love as they say, Brady Bunch on steroids that we do every morning, where we're all together making calls and working the business. And it's been a great environment. I'm excited about it, and again, been able to help people. So that's always a priority for me as well.
That's awesome, man. Now here you are on the podcast, and you're getting your day in court to talk about you and what you do, and we're excited to have you here. Call Stars, you mentioned that the Brady Bunch on steroids, David. How's that Call Stars thing work?
Well, as a branch, we all log on every morning, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time till 11 o'clock for 2 hours. That's I call it our money making time.
Yeah.
It's time to mute the emails. It's time to shut out the rest of the world and focus on the activity that moves the needle. And that activity that moves the needle is picking up the phone and calling our clients. Communication.
Yeah.
Too many people are too busy with emails, texts, and not doing it the good old fashioned way of just picking up the phone.
Yeah.
And that's there is no better form of communication out there than that phone call, than that phone.
Voice-to-voice connection, letting people know that they matter, they mean something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just about shooting a quick text message. It's about getting in front of them and talking to them, having an actual conversation, and building a relationship. It's also about following up with our consumers and letting them know what the statuses of their files are, and that we care, and that we want them to know that they're on time for a smooth and flawless closing. I mean, those are the key factors of that communication aspect. But let's talk about that real quick, David. How do you have the confidence to mute your emails during that 2-hour window of time and pick up the phone and have that sales activity? What gives you the ability to feel comfortable that your files aren't going to fall apart while you're working?
It's all built around our team, the Dubuc team. We designed a concierge desk. You know what? If we don't pick up the phone, we have a concierge that picks up the phone to make sure that call doesn't go into voicemail. Someone picks up the line. We have our team still behind the scenes. Our processors still working the files. We have setup people still working the files to allow us to focus on that, what we call the money making activities. The actual focusing on the phone calls, and so we can tune out the rest of the world. Yeah. You're absolutely right. You can't. As a loan officer, if you were responsible for all that stuff, it's kind of daunting. But the fact that we have that kind of support in this company is huge. It's massive. I can't think of another company that gives you that kind of support.
Yeah, having that ability to be able to feel confident that when you're not working on that file and somebody else is picking it up and taking care of it, and when your phone rings and you're not able to answer it, there's somebody there that's going to pick up the phone and make sure that your consumer is getting exactly what they need. They're still getting service, even though you're busy on the phone, bringing in new business, right? That's really important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Craig, let me ask you this question because you're new to the industry. You've been in it since 2022. You had some commercial stint in the past. We know you know your math. You got a marketing degree, so you certainly know how to get out there and market yourself. But what should give the consumers the confidence with the fact that you don't have a lot of experience in the industry that you're going to give them great service? And how do you feel confident that you're going to be able to give them that great service as well?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked it because I've got a great answer. Just this last week, we had a situation where we had a closing. That closing had happened. Well, I got the phone call from the realtor 2 weeks prior. And what happened is a bank that the lender or the borrowers had been working with had an issue and they couldn't get it closed. And I got a call from a realtor. Yeah, they were pre-approved. And then when it came time for the actual approval, it didn't happen. And I got a
Yeah.
call from a realtor, and the realtor was saying, Craig, I need your help. And so I got on the phone and I got a chance to talk with Devin, and I got a chance to talk with the sales manager, Barry, and we went to work. And then lo and behold, 2 weeks later, we closed that deal. From the time I got the phone call to the time we closed was only 2 weeks. The back office was amazing. There were so many emails going back and forth. And the greatest thing is I saw them, not during those 2 hours, but I saw them later, and they were all being handled by other members of the team. I was in the loop. I was working with them. I was communicating, especially with Julie Hayes. We were communicating, but I didn't have to do everything. And I think that was a huge piece is that me being the face of my team was able to go out and work and keep doing what I needed to do. And the people behind the scenes are absolutely amazing. In fact, they did things there's no way I could have done.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is you have a process behind you that provides you with the appropriate support that even with the fact that you don't have a ton of experience in the business, your team behind you is going to make sure that those customers get qualified, get the appropriate communication, and get to the closing table. And you said 2 weeks? Is that right? That loan from the time that you got it to the time that it funded, 2 weeks?
No, I got a phone call Monday night at 5 p.m. and we closed it 2 weeks later.
That's awesome. Well, let's, what our audience don't realize is this: the Dubuc team has over 100 years of combined experience. I'll repeat that: 100 years of combined experience.
We're really old.
We have people that's been in the mortgage business 20, 25 plus years. With the combined experience with our team, not everybody knows all the answers. I don't think everybody expects any single person to have to know all the answers. But you know what? We network. In fact, we have a sales support line where you can send an email to our entire staff and ask a question, and you usually get a response within 10 seconds of something. And there's veterans out there that drops stuff on that line all the time. So the fact that you're new, Craig, has you have as far as I'm concerned, every client of yours has 100 years of a backing from the experience that you have back behind you.
And I want to talk on this real quick too, David, because what you're saying is if you're new to the business or just wanting to get into the business, but you've got a driving force that says, hey, I'm willing to do what it takes to get out there and create great success, right? I just don't have the know-how on the back end, but I've got a drive, and I know I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that I get out there and find consumers, find agents, build relationships, but I don't know what I'm doing on the backside of the mortgage. You can come here to the Dubuc team and click and close, and you can trust that there's a team behind you that's going to make sure that all that stuff happens, and you can go out and you can sell and learn your way into the business and become wildly successful, and you can do that in a short period of time because there's a process that's built for success. Is that fair to say, Craig? Would you feel that that's an accurate statement?
100%. I love the fact that it's very much a team environment. I can ask a question to our team, like David said. I can ask a question, and maybe David will answer, or Clint, who we'd mentioned, might answer. Devin, you've answered many a time. So we've always got people willing to help. And, one of the biggest things I've learned how to do since I got here is I've learned how to do certain research myself.
Yeah.
And I now am coming to the point where I've got veteran people asking questions and I'm able to answer because I've been through it. So I'm excited about the fact that just like I like to be in a relationship with my realtors, I don't like to just be a taker. I like to be a giver as well. I get to do that with our team. I get to learn from them, but I also get to help, them learn something as well.
Well, and that's why we love you, Craig. That's why we love having you on the team. And at the end of the day, it takes a special person to be able to come in and say, "Hey, look, man, I'm gonna make my presence known." And you've done that, right out of the starting gate. We've got a thing that we tease around here. It's not our story. It's actual Carl White's story, but it's don't be clever, be Bob, right? Don't be clever, be Bob. And what does that mean, right? Well, a lot of the times you get people in this industry that they've got so much experience, they feel like, well, I know the best way to do this, and my way is the right way. And some of those guys who have veteran experience in this industry aren't having a lot of success right now because the market's shifted and things have been different, right? But we've got new loan officers that are coming to the industry like Craig, who have little experience to no experience, that are having great success. And it's because of one thing: they're being Bob. Well, what does being Bob mean, right? Being Bob, well, there was a gentleman by the name of Bob, and he started with an organization years ago, and he just wasn't somebody that we expected to be successful. But what he did was he followed instructions. He listened to what he was told, and he followed the daily success plan, which is what we live, sleep, and eat here, right? And as a result, he actually started building business while other people weren't having that same success, and it was simply because he was capable of following instructions. Craig, I'd like to say it right now, brother. You're Bob. You're Bob. You came in here, you listen to what we're telling you, you're learning the right way to do business in this marketplace or in any marketplace. You're having great success, and it's because you're following instructions and you're not trying to be clever. You're just being Bob. You're getting out there and doing the right things to create that great success. And man, we're super happy to have you here on the team. So, well, hey, one question I'd like to ask you, man. So, we know you just got started with the team. We know that you're out there building that great success. But tell us a little bit about your family life, brother. I know that you do stuff when you're not working. What's your family life look like?
Well, I've got a daughter whose last day of high school was yesterday. So congratulations to her. She'll be graduating in another week or so. And two sons as well. A beautiful wife. I know earlier you mentioned that, I was going to go to court, and I'm like, oh, my wife doesn't allow that because she's a lawyer. She works as a prosecutor here in the county, and she expects me to be on my best behavior. So we have a lot of fun. We spend a lot of time. We serve in our church. My kids are there helping out, and they're part of it. So we do a lot of things there. We've already talked about sports. My daughter used to do different things too. She was a cheerleader for a while. She was on a dance team for a while, and now we're getting her ready for college. So it's an exciting time at the Fossett household.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And I love the fact that you've got the personal success and the success with the family. And I love the spiritual side of it too, brother. You're just a heck of a nice guy. And I think if any agents are out there and they're looking for somebody they can put their trust in and know that there's a support behind you, even regardless of the fact that you're newer in the industry, Craig's definitely your guy. Well, Craig, we'd love to have you on here all day long, but as you know, we got to cut these things off at some point in time. Is there any question that we should have asked you today that we did not?
I think you covered it all. I appreciate you guys having me on today, and thank you so much.
Awesome, my brother. Awesome. Well, if people are out there in that Tampa Bay area and they want to find Craig and they want to get amazing service and close their loan in 14 days or less, how do they find you, Craig? What's a good way to get in touch?
Well, the easiest way is probably by phone, as we've talked about earlier. And my number is 727-480-8122. I'm also pretty active, especially on Facebook, on the social media. You can find me there as well. And, either one of those is a good way to reach me.
Awesome, my man. Awesome. David, anything you'd like to say before we finish this one up?
No, it was. Thanks for being on the show, Craig. you're a rising star, man. We're looking forward to great things from you in the years to come.
Yeah, I see several more shows coming up with Craig, and I know you're going to be bringing some guests on. So we're really looking forward to that as you you build your career here with Click and Close and the Dubuc team. And brother, we're just we're glad to have you here, man. We're glad to have you here.
I'm extremely happy to be here, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all your help, and thanks for having me on the show today.
My man, my man. Well, guys, I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Nguyen.
And we're your real estate success partners. If you want to find us, you can get us at www.realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's www.realestatesuccesspartner.com. You can also find us on Spotify, IR, iTunes Radio. We're on all your major platforms. And we're also going to be on YouTube if you like that video copy. We'd love if you'd subscribe, and we absolutely appreciate those 5-star reviews. But until the next time, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.